This is called Cúchulainn, and it's kind of like a poem in 3 acts. And yeah, forgive the length. Act 1. Outside Supermax on a Saturday night, Cúchulainn waits to pick a fight. Curry sauce fingers, fag in hand, muttering something no one can understand, he sways in his feet, eyes half closed. Blue jeans, plaid shirt, sleeves rolled up to freckled elbows, he is ignorance personified, with the mighty Mac half tucked inside, a belly full of vodka and Red Bull. It didn't used to be like this. Half stoned, half pissed and fully loaded, primed and ready to explode for no real reason, lashing out with all the insecurity and doubt that comes with getting wrecked too much and using booze and as a crutch for hating other shite in life, the job, the kids, the house, the wife, the credit cards, excessive loans, the tailored suits and 4G phones, the cars, the bars, the dingy clubs, the battle scars of old man pubs where songs were sang of heroes, old poems recited, stories told of how the Fianna roamed the fields with pointed spears and rounded shields, and how one man of Ulster came to bear the great Cúchulainn's name, but when he heard that name, he knew that he was born to fight and do what others did for centuries. For Ireland's bid, the injuries they wore as medals, heroes all are martyred, all the ones to fall, he raised his glass and drained his pint, then stumbled out into the night, determined now to pick a fight. He swings a left, and then a right, his victim, just some random bloke who stopped to ask him for a smoke. He knocked him to the ground and kicked his pent-up rage of politics. He kicked again and felt a surge, an all-consuming primal urge of power coursing through his veins, a force restricted and restrained till now he saw the chaos caused. He turned to look, a break, a pause, just long enough to feel the crack. Then all was empty, darkness, black. Act 2. When he awoke inside a cell, a windowless, depressing hell of shit-stained walls, a concrete floor, a 2-bit bed, a metal door, and visions of the night before, he felt the guilt, the shame, and swore that life must offer something more than sacrifice and blood and gore. The battles fought the flesh alone would never cure the world nor hone the spirit's path to lasting peace. So when it came to his release, he focused then on other things, like who it was that pulled the strings that kept his fellow men enchained, and found one name of all remain down every dark and seedy lane that led him back with weighted facts towards the name of Goldman Sachs. He joined the dots and drew the lines to every major grand design. The central banks, the ECB, the Vatican and treasuries of every country now diseased and lying crawling on its knees with outstretched hands and pleading cries for fairness in these trying times, as if their leaders weren't aware their people were all running scared, that surely someone somewhere cared, but no one did or no one dared to raise their voice or to declare that this was war by other means, designed to starve the poor and feed a manufactured human greed where want had triumphed over need, and wanting found a common ground in every in every cityscape and town, where men like him had spiralled down, whose lives like ships had run aground or drowned them in a sea of debt. An orchestrated plan to let the people freely spend and then pretend that it was up to them to pay the price for those who made the rules up as the game was played. Where market-based economies were traded as commodities, a simple plan to buy and sell and bet against the ones who fell, so win or lose, the banks still won, whatever way the wheel was spun. Act 3, I suppose. He saw it then, with open eyes, that this had long since been devised. To privatise our nation state, while corporations lay in wait for those who could to emigrate before they came to lick the plate of all that once belonged to us. A fate derived from boom to bust, where boom was staged and bust was planned to form a cage around the land and squeeze the people by degrees with ever more insane decrees that preyed upon their sense of shame, and still by creed a word to blame for what's being played out in our name. While those who stop, who question, why are normal people, you and I, accountable for generations of free market speculations, are just denounced as ill-informed by those who countenance the norms of economic genocide, while systematic loss of pride in national identity has come to be an entity of global farce, a running joke. But in the darkness he saw hope alight itself across the land, as people came to understand that we've been fooled to think we're poor, but those who rule have made endure this policy of open theft that's left us broken and bereft. But Ireland isn't poor. It's rich. Our lakes and rivers swell with fish. Our oceans yield both gas and oil. Our farms are fields of fertile soil. Our water's fresh. Our air is clean. Our culture turns the planet green. Our authors known to those who read. Our actors shown on silver screens. Our forests still a sacred space, solace from this human race. Our pride of place and crack abound. Our scenery is world renowned. Our myths and legends date way back to places where they planned to frack, where prehistoric ancient ruins of dolmens, cashels, passage tombs adorned the sacred sites of old, that now are seen as bought and sold for promises of liquid gold to those who see the dollar signs with no allegiance to the times when health was wealth that's been reversed in this apartheid of the purse. Yet still he came, with spade in hand, to till that laid and tame the land. With boot to spade at last he saw in every blade of grass and scraw that all that's rooted in the earth shall cling to life for what it's worth, and all that drifts upon the breeze will never truly be at ease. Yet still he hoped that down the line there'd come a time where children climb the branches of these buried seeds to pick the apples off the trees. Yeah, it's a bit longer than your one.